So let's talk about a wild idea. What if the next global financial crisis isn't caused by a person, but by a single line of code? It sounds dramatic, but it's a real question we have to ask.
Huh?
Because today, we're diving into the one force that is quietly and radically rebuilding our entire financial system from the ground up: artificial intelligence. Look, we're now living in a world where the biggest, most important financial choices aren't just being made by humans in suits on Wall Street. Nope. They're being made by incredibly complex algorithms that can learn, adapt, and predict things using billions of pieces of data. This isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It is happening right now, behind the curtain of pretty much every transaction. So you can forget those old images of chaotic trading floors with people yelling and throwing papers around. The real power, the real engine of finance today, it looks like this. Silent server racks, humming away, running machine learning models that process information at a speed and scale that is just physically impossible for any human brain. Okay, so let's start where this all began, in the world of high-frequency trading, where a single millisecond can literally be the difference between making or losing billions. This is where AI's crazy speed gives it an almost unbelievable and, yeah, sometimes dangerous advantage. Think about it like this. On one side, you've got the human trader.
Hello.
And no matter how smart or experienced they are, they're still human, right? They're limited by emotions, by getting tired, and by the simple fact that there's a physical limit to how fast they can think and act. But the AI trader? It's scanning millions of price changes, news headlines, and economic reports all at once. And it's executing trades in microseconds. It never gets tired, and it never, ever panics. But here's the really interesting part. This technology isn't just a secret weapon for billion-dollar hedge funds anymore. That very same power is now trickling down and completely changing personal finance for regular people, for you and me. For, decades, getting sophisticated, data-driven advice on how to invest your money was a total luxury. It was a service that was really only available to people who could afford to hire their own personal financial advisor. And that, of course, created this huge gap between the wealthy and everyone else when it came to building wealth. But then came the Robo-advisor. These are AI-powered platforms that basically do what a human analyst does, but they do it at a massive scale and for way, way less money. You tell it your goals, it analyzes the market 24/7, and it automatically adjusts your portfolio for you. You could call this the democratization of wealth management, and it's all being powered by AI. And while making investing easier is a big deal, there's an even bigger, maybe more profound revolution happening in the world of lending. AI is completely tearing up the old rulebook on creditworthiness, and it's opening doors for people who, for years, have been totally invisible to the traditional financial system. This chart really shows you the difference. See, traditional credit scoring, that's the gray bar, it relies on a pretty narrow set of old data. But AI-powered scoring, the blue bar, it's so much more effective because it pulls from way more diverse data sources. And that directly leads to more financial inclusion. It is a total game changer. So how does it do that? Well, it looks beyond just your old credit score. These AI models can analyze all sorts of other things, like a consistent history of paying your rent and utility bills on time, or your mobile payment records, or even a stable income from gig economy work. It creates a much more complete and, frankly, a much fairer picture of whether someone is financially responsible. Okay, but all of this incredible power, the speed, the access, the new ways of seeing financial risk, it all comes with a really serious challenge. As these AI systems get more and more complex, they also get harder and harder for us humans to understand. And that leads to what experts call the black box problem. So, what exactly is a black box? Well, imagine an AI denies your loan application, and when you ask why, the answer isn't a clear reason. It's just a tangled mess of complex math that no single person can really decode. This is a huge problem for fairness. How are you supposed to appeal a decision when you can't even understand why it was made in the first place? And that leads to an even more worrying question. We know that AI learns from the data we feed it. So what happens when the historical data it's learning from is already broken? What if it's full of decades of human biases and prejudices? This right here is one of the most critical ethical fights in AI today: algorithmic bias. It's the very real risk that we are accidentally just programming our own worst societal flaws directly into the software that's going to decide our financial futures. So here's how it works. if past lending data shows that certain groups or neighborhoods were unfairly discriminated against, an AI trained on that data will just learn to repeat those exact same unfair patterns. Not because it's evil, but because it's simply learning from the flawed world we gave it. It basically creates a high-tech version of a very, very old problem. And as this academic journal points out, it's even worse than that. AI doesn't just inherit our biases, it can actually amplify them. It can take unfair outcomes and make them even more systematic, more widespread, simply because of the massive scale these algorithms operate on. Now, the good news here is that we're not just helpless. Researchers and ethicists have been developing a whole toolkit of ways to fight this bias. This chart shows different strategies, like auditing the algorithms for bias, or something called counterfactual fairness, which is basically a technique that asks, hey, would this person have gotten the loan if their gender or race was different? These are becoming essential tools for building responsible AI. So it's pretty clear that the path forward has to be a conscious, deliberate effort. We have to build AI systems that are not only powerful and efficient, but also fair, transparent, and ultimately accountable to the people whose lives they affect. And this has become the central question for every bank, every regulator, every tech company in this whole space. How do we build AI that we can actually trust? Because trust isn't something that just happens. It has to be designed, it has to be engineered right into the system from the very beginning. And there's no single magic bullet here. The solution is a whole framework that has to address everything at once. You've got to deal with fairness, transparency, data security, and of course, complying with regulations. All of these pieces have to work together perfectly. So let's just quickly break it down. For each risk, there's a specific countermove. To fight bias, you use that fairness-aware machine learning we talked about. To fix the black box problem, you bring in something called explainable AI, or XAI, which helps us peek inside. And for privacy and regulations, you build the rules right into the system from day one. It's a systematic approach to building AI we can actually live with. So when you put it all together, it's really clear that AI isn't just another tool that the finance industry is adopting. No, it is fundamentally rebuilding the entire industry from the inside out. And you know, we've mostly been talking about predictive AI, but this quote from a recent Citi report about generative AI, the kind that creates new things, it really nails the scale of this change. They say it's not merely an incremental improvement, it represents a seismic shift. And that idea applies across the board. This isn't just an upgrade, we're talking about a whole new foundation. Which, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. We have this unbelievably powerful tool. It has so much promise to make finance more efficient and more inclusive for everyone, but it also comes with these profound risks around bias, transparency, and control. The future of our money really depends on which path we choose. And the one thing that's absolutely certain is that this conversation, it is just getting started.